Hello guys, welcome everyone. My name is Austerius. Today we're talking about Cold Mage, Freeze Mage, the beginner's guide. So this is not the best guide, this is not ultimate guide, this is not overpower guide, none of this nonsense. The Freeze Mage and beginner guide, meaning I'm gonna help you to get through the Act 1, Act 3 in the campaign. We're gonna be talking about cool stuff that Mage can bring to the table, bad stuff, my own experience with every single act, and passive trees, gear, gems, and all of that stuff just in a minute. I also gonna be linking all the video to important boss fights down in this video description, and as well as my full playthrough for this specific build, so you can see all the decisions we made as we actually made it. So the Freeze Mage, working like this. We have a Frostbolt basically. In most of the case scenarios, when we clean in the map, we rotating two skills here: Frostbolt and the Cold Snap. We freezing everything with this Frostbolt and snapping them with the Cold Snap. We also have a Frost Bomb to finish up some more chunky enemies, or some enemies that we miss with the Cold Snap. Sometimes we have custom freeze with the meteorites, and a Frost Bombs happens here and there. And Frost Wall is a great boss killer. We're gonna be talking about Frost Wall later. I have such a wonderful experience with this skill. So like, we freeze everything, and we Cold Snap them. Again, so those guys get some freeze immunity. We got like some Frost Bomb. Freeze, Cold Snap, freeze, explode everything over here. Like you see, the range is insane, and basically this whole of the gameplay of the build have decent damage. We are like literally, especially in Act 3, we are racing some bosses in a second. There's a random meteorite goes over here. Under the minute, some bosses went down under the minute. So this is the gameplay. This is the majority of the gameplay. A lot of crowd control, and I'm so enjoying this. You know, like a lot of stuff just can't even reach you. Freeze, explode into tiny pieces of ice. Done. Next and next and next. However, the build doesn't have much of single target damage early on. Especially in Act 2, and in Act 3, when we get a lot of single target damage, we sacrifice our survivability for that, right? So our stun threshold, our overall health and survivability, kind of lacking in the third act. We're gonna talk how we can fix that. We're gonna be talking because I done some mistakes as well. That we could, and I share my experience what those mistakes are, so you will not do them in your playthrough. Alright, so here we go. We're starting with the first act, right? So there was a little bit of fast introduction. First act. I played the first act with actually minions. Alright, so right now we're using this frost staff, but for the first act, I went and bought the Rattling Scepter, which has given me extra 100 spirit, right, and extra 2 skeleton warriors. And then I get like more shield, energy shield, and some spell damage as my focus item. So I have survivability that came in from extra shield, and survivability that came in from extra minions that are basically there to beat your mid shield, and they were doing like quite a distant damage along the way. So the Act 1 for this build was super easy. We didn't die even single time with this, and I was super enjoying it. It was a mix between, like I say, minions and a cold spell. So we were doing quite a bit of damage with Frost Bomb and Frost Bolt. Frost Bolt would not like freeze yet that much, but Frost Bomb would deal a decent damage to a group of enemies. And the minions, we had Arsonist with some. Okay, do I already strip down the gems here? So like we had Arsonist here, and for supporting the gems, I used for supporting gems my Arsonist. Right. So there's a couple of trivia things before we start in this guild guide. When you click in on the supporting gems, there is the checkbox down here and show you all the gems that can go into supporting skill. Don't forget about that. So we were using some let's see, scatter shot on the skeleton arsonist, making them basically a shotgun. We have 2 skeleton arsonists with 100 spirit. And we also were using the extra fire damage for those guys. So like let's see where it is. 30% or 25 extra fire damage, fire infusion. So they were dealing not that much of a damage themselves, but in conjunction with your 2 skeleton warriors, you own 3 skills, and which is our Frost Bolt and called Frost Bomb. And our 2 Arsonists, the damage was enough to fell bosses really fast. There will be some links again into description below. So yes, like do not forget that. How do we get the minions, right? How do we get those guys? Do not forget that playing for mage, for sorceress, you always have access to every single other gem from every single other class, as long as you have corresponding like stats for to use the gem. And that's why we went to occultist and grab. Obviously, first we grab the skeletal snipers. So we ran into the skeletal snipers, and then the moment we got level tier 3 crystals gems, we got myself to a skeletal arsonist for like 100 spirit. I also was running with as a supporting as spirit gems instead of instead of Arctic armor. I was running with Grim Feast. Grim Feast is very powerful defensive skill, defensive aura early on especially. I really recommend it you instead of Arctic armor. Arctic armor not working, only working on melee melee enemies. Arctic armor will be useful in Act 3 for sure, maybe even Act 2. But Act 1, it's absolutely must be Grim Feast, and it's giving you so much more like a layer of survivability. You have minions and you have you open damage and crowd control with the freeze and slowing down with the chill. That's enough to not die, not suffer any damage in the first act at all. Second act was a little bit harder for me and for this build, because we realized that minions already were good enough for first act, but not good enough for second act. We don't have like any scaling. If you like checking out the tree here, we don't have any scaling here with for minions that a witch has on this node. And be not having any scaling at all, the minions were dealing very little damage and would die quite fast despite the gems I would put in them. So my next order of business would be to switch to this frozen staff. Why frozen staff? It's easy to get from a vendor.
To the camp.
It's like easy to get from a vendor. I really recommend to check the vendor here and there more often, and well, it's easy to get to get on the lower levels. I actually would like to have myself the Sigil of Power staff, the Chimney staff, because it can also spell that can empower you. But so happens we were like very lucky. We found a couple of stuffs that were sold by the vendors that giving me +3 to all spell damage, spell skills, or cold skills. Our first stuff was cold skills. And there's also a trick if you have essence. If you have essence and you have like this white stuff.
Her mind tends to wander.
So we have like
She reminds me of one of my sisters.
Okay, it's got some essence that deal in cold damage. Right, magic item with caster modifier. Physical, let's see. Mana, okay, cold modifier. So this can give you easier plus if you improving this gnarled stuff with essence. It can easily give you plus spell damage, plus cold damage percentage, or plus levels to cold skills. Alright, if you're using the great essence and well, you will not get access to the great essence in campaign. But people saying if you're using, that's already tested. If you're using great essence plus lesser essence, you can get guarantee percentage to your cold damage and plus to level to cold skills level. With this specific stuff. So anyway, check out the vendors. What you need from the stuff is spell damage or cold damage percentage bonus, and plus levels to spells, skills, or cold skills altogether. Right? Surprisingly enough, for me at least, I played for 3 character, and there was every single weapon I got for my previous characters and this character including I got from a vendor, and every single of them has a plus something to skill levels that I using for that character. Anyway, we switch to the stuff in the second act, and with a level of skills. So that's unfortunately removes some survivability from us that we had from extra shield that we got from a focus, and extra minions that we got from the rattles, extra meat shields from a rattling scepter. Let's remove all the survivability, but we also got a little bit more damage, and I was running Frostbolt as a triple shot, a scatter shot for chilling, but when you fight bosses I would remove scatter shot and run it as a single target damage, because we still were lacking a little bit of damage in the second act. Our freezing was not so fast, and the main damage was obviously casting from Frost Bomb, and we didn't have the Frost Wall yet. The Frost Wall was a game changing. So we went into Act 3. We got a couple of the lesser Jewel orbs, so we can punch additional crystal, insert additional crystal in my Frostbolt, in my Frostbone, and my Custom Freeze. That's make the build so much better, right? So we were basically freezing almost everyone with one hit of Frostbolt, and just cold snap, just snapping them right away too. And then the boss fights, we added the Frost Wall. If you look at the damage here, 717 damage in the Frost Wall, it doesn't look that big. But when you put it against a boss, against a big boss, chunky boss, it's breaking all these 3 walls, and you can cast those like instantaneously, more or less. 3 spells right away, and they freezing him so fast. The damage is built up. There's a link to the Merkel, the Forge Master boss fight, that check in your DPS, down below in this description, and you can see how fast we kill that guy with a Frost Wall. So I'm super positively impressed about the skill. We're gonna talk about the gems and stuff a little bit later, as well as the gear and passive points. Actually, we're gonna talk about it now, because I just realized we're finishing the intro in the first act, what we do. So, the gems we're using, right? The most gems I'm using here for daily killing stuff is the Frostbolt, right? So we have +4 to global modifiers, one +1 modifier coming from passive trees, +3 coming from my stuff. So I use Glaciation right now to get more freeze build up. But when we didn't have like extra notches here, when we have only 2, I was using Unleash. Alright, so it's getting like extra orb, which is also hitting an enemy for 50% less damage, but it's also freezing them faster basically. And the Scatter shot less damage, but you saw my Frost Orb just shooting, Frostbolt shooting in a big cone, which is chilling everyone, slowing everyone, and freezing everyone with a big area. So I do recommend it Scatter Shot, especially in the third act and later. We're gonna be playing later with this build. But like second act for boss fights, when you're missing some damage, Frostbolt, Scatter Shot removed, get some extra cold damage over here. Like there is tier 1 gems that giving you extra damage, I do believe. Frostbolt, Frostbolt, Deep Freeze. Let's see where it is. Extra frost damage, extra cold damage. I think that was something, right? Glaciation. Okay, first build out. That's very already. So I did try the fast forward. Not the fast forward. Deceleration, I was saying. Deceleration with the skill at the beginning. So it's felt okay, right? You can blow up your oven frost orb, frost bolts with a cold snap. But it's later it's became obsolete because you're just blowing up the Gaza minions instead of your own frost bolts. So it's additional damage, right? Because Frostbolt damage doing projectile damage 329, but explosion doing 493, a little bit more damage. Anyway, another skill that is important here is a cold snap, as for our rotation. So the cold snap, there is not much like to add here. More damage with the hits and ailments, but cannot deal critical. And we get in less casting speed, but 40% more spell damage with hits. That's like what we're doing with the cold snap here. Then a big damage dealer. A big damage dealer is, well, apart from Frost Wall. Let's go to Frost Wall. Right, so Frost Wall is also can prevent some enemies from moving close to you, melee enemies, and sometimes it's effective in a corridor-like environment. So like pay attention to that. But like it consists of a bunch of crystals. Right, every crystal that blow up dealing this 158 cold damage, and if you are blowing up in the face of a big boss, it's like a lot of damage. So like I see that every shard here dealing damage of 329, but when there are a lot of them blowing up and there's 3 frost walls, that's summing up a lot of damage. So penetrate cold resistance, and we have less life for crystals, so they easier to be shattered. But in my experience, even in Act 3, even when monsters attack in my frost wall, normal monsters, not a yellow one, they had hard time to blow up the wall, destroy the wall before it's expire, even if there's 50% less life here. So it's not an effective tactic. It's not a really effective tactic. Frost Bomb at the big damage dealer skill, as dealing 2100 damage per blow up, but it's also blowing up twice thanks to the Spell Echo. Spell Echo is a tier 2 gem, which you get at the beginning of the Act 3. And before this, I recommend fast forward, so it's gonna be blow up a little bit faster and increase a radius of this area of effect with magnified effect. I also was using Flame Wall. Flame Wall in this build have a very special place. And first of all, right, for Flame Wall, every projectile shoots from Flame Wall, and this is mean like this Frostbolt have added like fire damage. 27, 38 added fire damage. So this extra damage is the beginning of the first act. In the whole first act. Also, Flame Wall is igniting enemies. Igniting enemies. So I use Arcane Temper, cast speed, and lesser damage with hits. But Circle Firewall here. We're gonna talk about ignition when we get to that passive skill tree. Basically, igniting enemies giving me extra 30% damage with all my frost skills. That's how it works. We have after Flame Wall, we have a Curse of Hypothermia. Alright, so minus extra 33 cold resistance to the enemy, and we increase in area of effect for this, and the curse effect for it as well. And lastly is a cast and freeze when you get like a little bit later. So I have a grim fist, like I say, but I'm not using it, not using any supporting gem in it. Right, like it requires some extra spirit. Right now, because of my luck to get in this body armor with extra spirit, I can run my cast and freeze and grim fist, right, in Act 3. And that was a huge help to my survivability, despite survivability overall weren't been that great. However, if you're struggling with survivability, especially in Act 3, yes, the cast and freeze can add a little bit extra damage here and there, but I suggest to run Grim Feast plus Arctic Armor at the same time. So that's gonna help you a little bit more of survivability. Plus, there's a lot of small enemies, small melee enemies that just swarming you, and it'd be easier to deal with them if you had Arctic Armor. Alright, extra damage to them, and don't forget about Charm for anti-stun charm against those. Because we have like very little stun threshold. Despite the great like damage potential and crowd control, this build like in survivability in the version I was running, and we're gonna talk how to fix it. The first fix is adding instead of Caster Freeze, Grim Feast plus Arctic Armor. Right, Arctic Armor is maybe a standard gem that everyone gonna be adding to the Frost Mages. I did show it, right? I did show it before. Arctic Armor, so cold damage per stage, 3 stages, and everyone that attacking you in melee getting this cold damage to them. So it can freeze clear this pesky little monkeys and fish in the third act. That's basically all gems. About the caster freeze, we use the extra slot for it. So ideally you would like to slot comments. Right, you would like to slot comets in every single slot over here, because comets dealing more damage and dealing it faster than a frost bomb. But if you before you get a comment, you will have like access to the frost bomb. And how to get extra frost bombs, right? You just go into your skill, right? Removing your current frost bomb, right? Removing your current frost bomb and put it into your inventory, for example. And then you go into taking your gem that add in like the extra frost bomb and actually unlocking more frost bomb spells. About this skill gems still, right? Starting with the third act, you will be getting access more and more to the corruption mechanic, either via some special stands that can corrupt, or via the wall orbs. Right, so like there's one easy way to get yourself a really good skill shard, skill gem, is try to corrupt it. But there's also drawbacks to it. So I tried to corrupt it a couple of frost bombs, right? So there's a corruption, and we, a couple of them just rolled with minus level, Right, so absolutely you don't want minus level, but you also get lucky and can get like plus level, which is also gonna increase your damage to of the skills, and you still can level up this first bomb via normal level up mechanic, despite it being corrupted. At least that's what people on the internet like were saying. So let's see if I remove this one and put this first corrupted first bomb over here. Probably have too many frost bomb. Yeah, I need to remove like one frost bomb to actually be able. But yeah, you still will be able to level it up normally. That's what the people saying. I need to hold it. Just hold it. So like, I'm removing this frost bomb. Right, remove this frost bomb. I'm going over here. Okay, we need 52. That's to higher the gem for leveling up. Level 12. And you see, I can level up this frost bomb here.
Frost bomb pulses with ice. Frost.
So like, if you level it up, and then go to the corrupted one, and it's seen it's a level of 15. All right. Wait, level 15. Oh, so it didn't level up, huh? Wait, it's supposed to be level 12 plus 5, 17. Okay, so it didn't level up. Never mind. Maybe corruption. So there was like other guy who was talking about this. I didn't try it, but okay, this is level 11 here. Yeah. So what did we level up? Did we level up one of those? We level up one of those first bombs. Okay, let's level up one of those first bombs. Let's remove them. And try to level up it again. So apparently it can also level up your extra frost bomb from custom freeze. Okay, we're removing this frost bomb. And we're adding like this extra frost bomb over here. We put in a corrupted one in my skill slot. For chat's sake, we're doing this again. Level 12, level 11. Okay, level 12. Let's see, frost bomb.
Frost bomb.
It's level 10. Why is this level 10? Because they should be. Okay, let's see. Has got it? Okay, it's level 17. So you still can level up. Never mind, you still can level up this as a normal way, even after you corrupt it. So people were on internet actually were right. It's just pay attention. The caster freeze frost bomb also can be leveled up this way. So that's about corruption, and the best outcome of corruption you can get, apart from leveling up, also getting like extra 2 notches here. So we get 4 space for passive skill gems, and that's huge. That's huge help for the build. So that's we talk about gems. That we talk about corrupted gems here. Now let's talk about passive skill points. Passive skill points for the first couple of levels, for the first act in general, I do recommend go more defensively. So energy shield, energy shield, energy shield, energy shield, and we have some more energy shield here, and the stun threshold, which is very important. And then you go in, you'll have enough time to get this Breath of Ice, the cold resistance penetration. So it's pretty good for the first boss fight penetration, because the guy has cold damage after. There's a cold resistance and cold damage to him. After that, the second act, you will need a little bit more damage. So what I did, I pick up all of this spell damage over here, all this cold damage and freeze build up, especially, and then we branch into the right side. Got some dexterity for my gems, and got a bunch of damage over here. All this spell elemental damage, elemental damage, 30% increased elemental damage if I shield enemy recently. Recently mean in past 4 seconds, and extra 30 elemental if I ignite recently, which is where the flame wall coming from, which is not only getting me that extra fire boost to my frostbolt projectiles, but also giving me this 30% ignition damage. And then I just rushed over here, right? So before the start of Act 3, I had a rush over here to this node to get some extra cold damage for my spells and extra level. We also got freeze build up, so that's why we're freezing them so fast, and extra cold penetration over here. And now that's like when I mess up a little bit. So what I should have done in Act 3, what I should have done, instead of going over here, grabbing this intelligence that we need for my level 51 staff here, or 41 staff. What is the level for the staff? 41, right? Instead of grabbing over here, alright, I should have go over this way and grab all of these extra shields here. Extra shields. So build up a little bit more survivability, and more importantly get extra energy shield as a stun threshold. So not only we had like more shields overall, but we also have some percentage of the shield as a stun threshold, and we'll be like have easier time to live through the damage that we're taking from small minions. They will not stun us that often, and there was this bird boss in Second Ascension, and that bastard like stun locked me with twice, and that's led me to failing the Ascension challenge twice. Nevertheless, that's what we did, and that's what you should do. If you see like your survivability dropping, you want to get this. Also, it's, well, we talk about items a little bit later, right? So what I did like get this extra. So I was wanted to get this intelligence, but then understand I haven't enough intelligence for my stuff. So like switch to this extra damage over here, extra exposure, and extra damage per elemental aimings on the enemy, which is again ignite and chill or freeze coming all together very well here with this. But I also could have go somewhere over here and grab myself this extra energy shield, a stun threshold, an energy shield over here, which is gonna be improving my chances of survival. Nevertheless, this is how our passive skill tree look like for this mage right now. And about the gear, again, we talk about the stuff here. We talk most of the time you want the stun prevention charm, especially in Act 3. And periodically you want some poison resistance, immunity, and depending on what kind of boss you're fighting, like in first act you're fighting Jen or Wolf, you want a cold resistance. In second act you want lightning resistance. In a third act you're so powerful that you don't really care. But yeah, care about these resistances a little bit. We didn't have a good items here, except my stuff and maybe body armor. All items were kind of bit random. Alright, kind of bit random. We get a little bit armor from physical damage resistance, but we have something to work with the items. So basically what you want to have here, you want to have a shield, more energy shield, more like resistances on this, and a spell damage if possible. But I prioritize your defenses over offensive at this point, because your passives plus the stuff, a good stuff, gonna give you a good offensive overall, right? So, and a little bit about crafting a good stuff, right? So I do recommend it to, again, to check out frequently the vendor. Like I say, very often she has some +1 to skills here, right? Even if you don't have, you can just buy like some item, some blue item over here,
Stay safe.
or white item.
You can.
You're gonna find on the ground, and use Orb of Transmutation on the white item to make it blue. You have a lot of Orb of Transmutation, a lot of Orb of Augmentation. After you make an item blue, you just increase it like with getting another affix with Herb of Augmentation and Regal Orb. You're also gonna find a lot of those. You can add like another extra modifier with this, alright? Make it a yellow item with 3 modifiers. So obviously I recommend it to experiment like this on the item that already have plus something to a skill level, either spell skills or frost skills. And how to get a Regal Orb? So in the first act you most likely will be selling these yellow items because they are giving you like a good money, and you will not have much money overall if you see first character. But after that, there's a disenchant tab, and you want to disenchant those items to get in this extra Regal Orbs. Yes? Extra shot for Regal Orbs. You also, if you have some items with the quality on them, alright, you also want to wait and not selling them until you get the salvage bench, which will happen something close to the end of the first act. And that's by salvaging them, you can get some armor scraps or Arcanist Etcher that can improve quality of staffs and scepters. Right, so if you press in Alt on a staff, right, you can see what the quality doing here. So for this staff, additional effects. Skill can diminish in skill panel, additional quality effect, which I don't know what that actually mean. Alright. Skill panel. That's what you're getting for quality for this stuff. But like there's armor quality and weapon quality. So armor, if you increase in quality for this, you're gonna get extra armor, extra energy shield. Right, so like if you get in this armor scrap here and improving my gloves over here, I get 3% quality and get like 1+1 to my total energy shield over here. So that's the kind of the mechanic to increase your survivability, which we were a little bit ignoring because, well, I was stingy on this. I should have not been. Anyway, guys, hopefully there was this tips gonna help you build even better Freeze Mage, the Freeze Mage of your dream, and hopefully the tips were useful. So there's, like I say, some good stuff, some bad stuff about Freeze Mage, especially when it comes to survivability. Okay, so like the freezing itself, the crowd control adding a lot to your survivability, but when you're like panicking and surrounding the enemies and it's like, you know, getting stun after stun and interruption after interruption, it's kind of hard to like freeze and explode them, so you can make a mistake and you can die easily to this. It's not supposed to take like big damage in this variant I'm playing, but you can make it like quite sturdy with your items and the passive skills change that I was explaining earlier. Right, guys, see you next time in the next guide. Check out the links below to the boss fights and the full playthrough. Take care of yourself, stay safe whatever you're doing, have fun with it. See you guys.